Alright everybody, today we are going to look at the Pin tab using Snap. It's here in the left. You can see the little thing going. Alright, so first off we have our when space key is pressed control block. That can be found right here under the control tab. I'm using this one right here. You can use when I'm clicked, when green flag right here is clicked. We can use whatever. I like the space bar one. Alright, so let's go back to our Pin tab. Alright, so to be able to use the Pin tool, we actually have to use it in conjunction with other blocks, like the motion blocks in the motion tab. So I'm just going to do that first. So here's our motion tab, and I'm going to choose the glide 1 second to X position and Y position. Alright, so now we have all the tools. Let's go back to our Pin tab. Alright, so first one is clear. We can't really use this right now because there's nothing to clear. So let's just put this one here on the side to use for later. Alright, our next block is Pin down. So your pin, I do believe, is your sprite right here. I think the very tip of the sprite represents, I guess, the edge, the tip of the pin. So if we put this block here, what that means is it's like in real life, if you have a pin, you have to put it down on the paper. You have to press it and touch the paper to be able to do anything. You can't just write in the air and stuff pops up. So now that our pin is down, so let me do an example with glide. So we have glide 1 second to X position 0, Y position 0. If we move our little sprite over here, X0 and Y0 should be in the middle. If we press space, our sprite should just glide over there to 0. Now look what happens if I have the pin down in front. So the pin is down. It is on the paper, so to speak. And now if I put the glide 1 second, so your code looks like this. Now if we look at our sprite and we hit space, it drew a line. Alright, so now we can use our clear block. So let's go back to that. Let's unattach these two right here. Attach our clear block. If we hit spacebar, if we'll look over here, it cleared it. Alright. So our next block is the Pin up tab. And that's exactly what you think it is. We have the pin down, we have the pin up. All that does is just takes the pin off the paper. So if let's get another glide block under the motion tab right here. And we see well, there's two ways of doing this. You can either get it from there or getting a phone call, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. So what I was saying previously is you can either get another block by physically going to the correct tab and left clicking and dragging it out. Or another way you can do this is if you right click the block, there is a duplicate button. It says make a copy and pick it up. So if we hit duplicate, left click, boom, look at that, we got another block. But I already have one, so we don't need this one now. Alright, so let's get our sprite. Let's drag it over here. And we have this code block right here. It says pin down. Our pin will be down. It will glide our sprite up here. That should make a pin mark. And now let's say move, or let's put the pin up. Let's pick it up. And now if we put another glide, let's change this to a different position. Let's say 50 and 50, because why not? So what this should do is when the space key is pressed, our pin will go down, our sprite is going to glide over a 1 second time period to an X position and Y position 0, and then our pin is going to be picked up, and then our sprite is going to glide to X50 and Y50 position. And since our pin is up, it's not down, there should be no drawing. So let's look at our sprite. Let's hit the space bar and see what happens. Alright, so we see that when the pin was down, it drew, and then when it was up, it did not. So we can clear this by either attaching clear and hitting spacebar, or another way to clear is if you, or run any block, is just you double click the block, and we see it cleared it. I'm going to move our sprite down here again. Alright, so I'm going to click our pin tab again. It's right up here. Alright, our next block is the set color to, that looks like magenta block. So what that does is, if you haven't figured it out, it's going to set our color to whatever is specified. If we click this colored block right here, left click, we see we have all these colors we can pick from. So I'm going to pick red because it's easier to see. And if we attach that, what that says is set pin color to red, so our pin's going to be red, and then we can run the rest of this code that we just previously ran. So what the whole block says is set the pin color to red, so as we got our red pin out, put the pin down, glide, which will draw, red line, pick the pin up, glide, nothing happens. Alright, so let's look at our sprite, hit the spacebar and see what happens. See, everything turned red. Nice. And you can change the color in the program as long as you have different blocks. So let's make a copy of our set pin color. So let's right click, choose duplicate. Now we have 2. And now let's also duplicate our pin down glide block. So right click that, let's hit duplicate. Now we got a copy of it both. And we also see here when I right clicked, it has duplicate, but it also has this pin down block. What that says, if we click the glide one, or it's the first block, what that says is, hey, if you don't want to copy what's below this block, you can just copy that block. So like, let's pretend we only wanted the pin down and we did not want the glide. If we hit that, then it would just make a copy of it. So for this, let's say, well, first let's clear what we did. So let's double click clear. So let's say set color to red, put the pin down, glide to 0, and now we're going to say set pin color to, what do people think of when we say red? Think of blue. So let's set pin color to blue, put the pin down, and glide to, let's say, 50 and 50 again. So let's look at our sprite. Let's hit the spacebar and see what happens. Ah, see that? So set the pin color to red, pin went down, it glided, it was red, 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 hit 0, X0, Y0, then it changed pin color to blue, went 50. And now that I'm thinking about it, we honestly did not need this pin down right here, because the pin's already down. We never picked it up. So let's just demonstrate that. Let's clear it by double clicking this. Going to move the sprite down, and let's hit the spacebar and see what happens. So if all you want to do is draw, you only need one pin down block. Alright, our next one is change pin color by 10. So instead of setting what the color is like this, instead you just change it by a number, because you know colors can be represented by just shades of different colors. What are like 256 color combinations, I think. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but color scientist. But so what we're going to do is we're going to remove this set color to block right here. So let's left click and drag our glide block to separate them. So in place of the set pin color block, let's put in the change pin color by 10. And 10's not the biggest number in the world, so let's put 100. And let's re-add our glide block. And let's clear our drawing that we did over here. So let's double click clear. And let's get our sprite and drag him down here. And what our code says is set pin color to red, put the pin down, glide over 1 second to X position 0, Y position 0, change pin color by 100. So I'm not sure what that color is going to be, but it's definitely going to be different. I hope. And then continue to draw to 50/50. All right, so let's press spacebar to run our code, and let's see what happens. So I don't know if you can see it from where you're at, but it looks a little different. But let me reset everything and change the number to a different color. Let's go crazy here. Let's put 1,000. Yeah. All right. Let's see what happens now. So I'm going to press the space bar, run it, see what happens. Didn't really change it all that much. Let's put a lot. See what happens here. Well, not a whole lot, huh? Let's try a negative number and see what happens. Let's try negative 50. Yeah. Or let's just put 10, like how it was originally, and see what happens. Oh, okay, there we go. Change to yellow. So let's put 20 and see what we get. Oh, it overwrote the red one too. That's interesting. Set pin color to red. What happened to red? That's weird. Alright, well, we at least know it changes the pin color. And it looks like it changed it permanently, which is very odd. Huh. Alright, so let's clear this. Going to detach this block right here, the glide block, so we're going to use that. So our next block is set pin, right here, is set pin shade to 100. So let's attach that. And what that should do is change the shade of this red by 100. So let's press the spacebar, run it, see what happens. Ah, so it made it a brighter shade of red. Very nice. Alright, so let's see what and we can change this number. Alright, change pin size by 1. So what this does is, see how our pin, the length, or the width of the line is very skinny. If we put this to, let's say, 10, that should make it bigger. So let's clear everything by double clicking it. Let's drag my sprite right here. Let's run our code. And what should happen is pin color set to this, pins down. We're going to move. It's going to be drawing. Pin size should get bigger by 10, and then we're going to continue to draw, which should make a bigger line. So let's hit the space bar. Let's look at our sprite, see what happens. Oh, it's definitely noticeable. That's nice. Alright. So set pin size, what this is going to do is it's like the change pin size, except for this is a constant. It's going to set it, and it's going to be stuck that way until it's changed, I guess. So if we put this first, or let's do this. Let's I'm going to clear some stuff just so it'll be a little less confusing. Clean up my workspace. Let's clear our mess. Alright, so we have set our pin color, the pin is down. Let's change our pin size. So we're just switching this code up. Change it to 10. Glide. Now let's set the pin size to 1. Glide, and that should set it back down to the original width we had. So let's hit the space bar and see what happens. Oh, couldn't even see it. That's why. Let's clear it and change our numbers up real quick. So let's change this 50 to 0, this 50 to 0. And let's change this 0 to 50, and this 0 to 50. Can't really tell if something happened if two of the same colors are going over each other. Alright, so let's hit spacebar once more and run it. Alright, so it's kind of like the opposite effect we had earlier. Alright, so here is our stamp block. Let's clear our workspace and see what happens. And I'm going to make I'm going to copy this glide. So let's right click. I'm going to choose this one. Let's only duplicate this block. I'm going to change this number to 100. Let's see what happens. So let's run it. So what that does is it made a copy of our sprite. Oh, it stamped our actual sprite. So if you had another character here, like let me draw a costume real quick. We went over this in the looks tab, but here's a quick overview. We can go to costume. We're going to click this, paint a new costume, this paintbrush. Draw something. Press OK. And so now this is our sprite costume, but if we stamp it, it should make like a copy of this. So let's hit run and see what happens. See, so it made a copy of the sprite. So this right here is now not a sprite, it's just a stamped image of the sprite. Our real sprite, our original, is right here. Alright, and that covers the pin tab blocks.